Masquerade is a master entertainer, right? Now, when a masquerade sets in, everywhere gets lit up, all right? Everybody is on their feet, all right? From the beginning, from dusk to dawn, so long as the masquerade still stands there and is performing, everybody is always outstricken because of the intricate dance steps of the masquerade, because of the beauty of the masquerade. Masquerade an important part of Igbo spirituality. Why? Because it is believed in Africa or in most African societies that the masquerade represents the spirit of the dead. That is why you have, they call it Maun, that is Maun, Maun, Maun. It is celebrating the spirit of the dead. Masks and masquerade are a very important component of the Igbo culture, be it today and in the time past. Even though most recently or in modern times, the roles of the masquerading society has dwindled due to the establishment of government offices and parastatals that actually have replaced the roles that were previously played by the masquerading society called Okonko or Ebe. All right, and then most recently you see that a rise in violence within the society and some members of the masquerading society, just like we saw the other day in Akebugu, and then we also saw the same scenario repeat itself in Urumba of Anambra State, right? Now, some people might begin to wonder why in the 21st century are we still holding tight to the ancient belief that masquerade are for the maintenance of social order. Now, before we go into it, I will slowly dive into the roles of mask and masquerade in the Igbo society and in an average African society. Now, masquerade play 4 very important roles in Igbo spirituality and in the society in most African society, right? Masquerade play 4 major roles in most African society. One is social role. Now, the masquerade and the masquerading society in time past were the enforcement arm of government, all right, of the people. When decisions are arrived at, the masquerading society takes it upon themselves to enforce such role through the Igbo society, right? Or the old Igbo cult, as some people might choose to call it, because the Igbo is in charge of the masquerading society, or Konko and Igbo are always in charge of the masquerading society in most Igbo communities, right? Now, that is the social role that they play. And then you have religious role. You know that masquerades an important part of Igbo spirituality. Why? Because it is believed in Africa or in most African societies that the masquerade represents the spirit of the dead. That is why you have, they call it Maun, that is Maun, Maun, Maun. It is celebrating the spirit of the dead, all right? The spirit and the exploit of, be it the dead heroes, dead farmers, and all whatnot. But it is a vital component in Igbo spirituality, because when you break the kola in your home, you are breaking the kola to the spirit of your progenitors, that is your great grandparents and all the rest. Just like in the Bible, you call them saints, and then some people, there are days for saint this, saint the other one, saint the other one. So the masks and the masquerades in Africa or Igbo society represent the spirit of the dead, which we implore to every morning when we throw libation, when we pray very early in the morning. You're praying to your ancestors, right? So now those masquerades actually represent the spirit of the dead. Then you have therapeutic role. Or before I go, I treat the therapeutic role of the masquerade in an Igbo setting or in an African society. Let me go to the one that is commonly known. Everybody knows it, that the masquerade is a master entertainer, right? Now, when a masquerade sets in, everywhere gets lit up, all right? Everybody is on their feet, all right? From the beginning, from dusk to dawn, so long as the masquerade still stands there and is performing, everybody is always outstricken because of the intricate dance steps of the masquerade, because of the beauty of the masquerade. If you are someone who really understands and appreciates art, you will understand that there is always beauty in everything, no matter how ugly you think it is. That is why most people watches the masquerading out, even without knowing it. Now, there is the last but not the least role of the masquerade in an Igbo society. It is the therapeutic role, the act of healing. Therapy is the act of healing. Now, no matter how sick you are, and then you step into the arena where there is spirit display in the African setting, most times you forget about that your sickness. You forget about it, and then you're always on your heel. You discover that after the run that you must have run, you go home and then you must have received your healing. And then there are some other masquerades also that are benevolent, or that represent benevolent spirit that bless you, right? They lay blessings on you, just like in Nkano culture, you have a Yaboko. You can actually always, begin to either lay blessings on you or curses on you, depending on the situation, right? So now, when you've shooken your body, or when you've shook your body so vibrantly while running from the spirit display in most arena, if you're having malaria, you might just go home and discover that you're better, even if it's not entirely, but permanently, or maybe temporarily. You get your healing, right? So masks and masquerade and the masquerading society have actually played a very pivotal role in the maintenance of social order in Igbo land. They've played a very pivotal role in the maintenance of religious role, the religion of Igbo, and then it has been a master entertainer, and then it has been a therapy to Igbo. So when all these roles are put together, you will understand the need for the maintenance and the sustenance of that cultural heritage of masquerading. Now, a lot of people will tell me that then what happens when, or they will ask, what happens when these masquerading societies become very violent? It's just like in the modern day occultic practice that you do in school, a system. If you are a member of a year or bagger, or however they might choose to call it, they have rules. You do not go to where those people are doing their matter, as they call it, where they run matter. You go there. You do not go there and then start claiming to be what you are not. If you are not a member of the masquerading society, and after you begin to now wail and cry that in a modern society that these things will not happen. But in that same modern society, you are a member of a cult group, and then when somebody uses the language or lingo, you begin to want to you want to know if the person really belongs to that group, and if it does not, you deal with the person vehemently. Is that right? Now, if that is correct, the same applies to the masquerading society. Okonko Anepe is a society that if you are not an initiate, then Abazine Maunaya, do not go and mingle or dabble into the affair. What you do is you watch from afar. All right?